Hello and welcome to Nikolay's genetics lessons, and today I have prepared two very easy questions for you. As usual, I recommend you to pause video here, try to solve each problem on your own first, and when you would be ready you can run video again and you can compare your answers with my answers and explanations. And here is the first question. Feather color in badgers is determined by two different genes, gene Y and gene B, and variation of genotype, that is three genotypes here, is produced green color of the feathers, and these two genotypes would produce blue color, and these two genotypes would produce yellow color, and genotype that is homozygous recessive for both genes would produce white color in feathers. A blue badge is crossed with white badge. Which of the following results is not possible? And here is the 5 answers to choose from. How we are going to solve this problem? So we told that we cross blue badge with white badge. And here is the genotype of the white badge. The genotype is small y and small b. And this badge may produce whether sperm or egg cells that we call gametes, that going to be haploid of only one kind. Gametes of this parent would have only small y and small b alleles. So let's write down the gametes, genotype of the gametes of the white badge, and this is going to be small y and small b, as you see, the only variant possible. And blue feathered badge has two genotypes, and this is going to be the first variant, and this is going to be the second variant. So as you see, this variant would be able to produce only one variant of the gametes, where we can find small y and capital B alleles, but this variant here may have more variation in gametes. It may have small y and capital B allele, and small y and small b alleles in the gametes. So two variants. Let's write down both variants. So small y and capital B and small y, small b variants this genotype can produce. So we are using this genotype and not this one, because this genotype also can produce small y and capital B gametes. So this variant we are using to build our Punnett square. So now we build a Punnett square, and we can find the genotypes of the progeny. So here we would have small y, and capital B, small b alleles from this parent and this parent. And here we would have small y and small b genotype. So we are given all the possible genotypes here in our problem, and let's find what this genotype stands for. And as you see, this genotype would produce badges with blue feathers. So let's circle with blue color. And genotype that is small y and small b would produce progeny with white feathers. Now let's check our answers. Green offspring, and this is true if we cross one parent with another parent. We wouldn't be able to find green color in feathers, so let's check it as true answer. Let's check answer B, yellow offspring. This is also true. And answer C, blue offspring, and this is not true. So let's check answer D, A and B, and this is true. And answer E, A, B and C, and C, as you see, is not true. We have blue feathered offspring here, so this is also would be not true answer, and true answer would be answer D. So A and B would be correct answers. And next question, two blue badges were crossed over the years. They produced 22 offspring, 5 of which were white. And what are the most likely genotypes of the two blue badges? And as you see, if we would take this genotype, if both parents would belong to this genotype can produce only one variant of the gametes, small y, small b. So when we cross two such genotypes, we are going to get diploid organism whose genotype going to be small y, and capital B, capital B. And if two birds would belong to this genotype, 100% of the progeny also would have blue feathers, 100%. And we are told that when we cross two birds, over the years they produce 22 offspring, 5 of which were white. So if parent 1 would be of this genotype and parent 2 would also belong to this genotype, we can say they wouldn't be able to produce offspring with white feathers. So we can cross out this possibility when parent 1 and 2 would belong to the same genotype, this first genotype. But let's consider now the probability if parent 1 would be of this genotype and parent 2 would be this genotype. So once again, parent 1 can produce gametes that is small y and capital B, and parent 2 might produce two types of the gametes, as you see, small y capital B and small y small b. So let's write down these genotypes of the gametes that is possible for the second parent, and let's build a Punnett square. And we can see all the possible variants of the diploid genotype of their progeny. So here we would have small y, and capital B, small y, and capital B and small b. And that means that if parent 1 would be of this genotype and parent 2 would be of this genotype, 100% of the progeny also would have blue feathers. So both these genotypes would produce blue feathers in the progeny. But in our problem we are told that over the years they produced 22 offspring, 5 of which were white. So white made 25%. So we can say that this cross of the parent 1 and parent 2 wouldn't meet requirements of our problem. And the last variant left, when both parents would belong to this genotype. Both would have blue feathers and both would be homozygous for the gene Y and heterozygous for the gene B. Now let's consider that both parents belong to this genotype. As you remember, this genotype can produce two types of gametes. One would be small y and capital B. Another genotype can be small y and small b. And we have to cross with parent 2. So this is going to be parent 1. And parent 2 also can produce the same two type of gametes, so small y and capital B and small y and small b. Once again, we build a Punnett square and we would be able to find genotypes of the diploid progeny. And here, so this is going to be parent 2 and two possible genotypes of the gametes for the parent 2, as you see, the same variants as for the parent 1, because we consider that both parents would belong to this genotype. So here we would have small y, capital B, small y, capital B, and small b, and small y, capital B, and small b genotype, and small y, small b genotypes here. And this genotype here would produce badges with white color of the feathers, and these three genotypes would produce badges with blue color of the feathers. So as you see, if both parents would belong to this genotype, so parent 2 and parent 1, the probability that the progeny would have blue feathers would be 3 out of 4, or 75%, and probability that the progeny would have white feathers would be 1 out of 4, or 25%. And this is exactly what we given here. So 5 is about 25% of the 22. And now we can say for sure that genotypes of both parents would be small y, and capital B, small b. And this is answer C. And this is all for today. Thank you for your attention. Please subscribe for my new videos that I post almost every day. Thumbs up if you like this video. Please write your comments, questions if you have any. And see you in the next video. Goodbye.